guys, my name is Mathilde Bahadorian and today I will be presenting you my Snow White story, The Seventh Dwarf, and I'm going to show you how it adapts and responds to the Grimm story being a little Snow White. They are the original. So the Seventh Dwarf story is the Seventh Dwarf himself. He is talking about what happened to Snow White. He is saying, similarly to the Grimm, that she ran upon to their house while she was running away from the queen trying to kill her, and she ate the dwarf's food, she slept in the dwarf's bed, and the seventh dwarf mentions, she slept in my bed even though it was too small like the six others. And the seventh dwarf, how he replies to the Grimm story is he mentions that he is the hero and he is the reason that Snow White survived, which is not mentioned in the Grimm, because the queen did three things in both stories to try to kill Snow White. She used a corset that she was going to strangle Snow White with, she used a poison comb, and she had a poison apple. Here I have a picture from the Grimm story of the wicked queen disguised as an elderly woman putting on the corset Snow White on Snow White. So, and then that being said, so that is just not mentioned in the Grimm story that the seventh dwarf is the one helping her survive. Now, for the poison apple part, in both stories, nothing can be done, and Snow White awakens in two different ways. So that is the adaptation is in the Grimm story. I'm going to pull up the quotes for you now. Snow White is actually, the prince has her and he wants her by his side all the time, no matter what. And the bears get tired of having to carry her back and forth. And one time, one of them opened the coffin, lifted Snow White upright, and said, "We are playing the whole day long just because of such a dead girl." He hit her in the back with his hand, and the terrible piece of apple that she had bitten off came off her throat, woke up, saw the prince, married him. So that is for the Grimm. In the seventh dwarf story, the seventh dwarf is running after the prince because he wants to have one last look at Snow White, and while he was running after her, he frightened one of the bears, and the bears stumbled. The others lost their balance, the coffin swayed on their shoulders, they set it down, they looked inside, and Snow White was inside the coffin. You know, when the coffin dropped, she was inside, and the piece of apple just came out of her throat. Again, I have another picture. This is a picture from the Grimm again. It is the picture of the coffin, which is quite beautiful. You see the seven dwarves, they look so sad. You see the prince, you see Snow White in the coffin. That is before she is awakened in both stories. Now, one last thing that I do want to mention is the seventh dwarf adaptation and response that we do not know in the Grimms is the plot twist that he is in love with Snow White. Here is the irony. The seven dwarves, again, this is a picture from the Grimm, are these creepy looking, pierced up, they have earrings, they're old men, they're surrounding this young, beautiful child, it's just, why would they not be creepy? Why would they not try and keep her? And the reason is because they loved her and they respected her. They had pity for her. If you clean the house for us and you take care of the house, make dinner for us, you can stay here. And the seventh dwarf mentions how much he loved her. I remember she threw us kisses when we went to work on the first morning. I was the last one out the door. My heart pounded fiercely like a silver hammer. And then, he mentioned she slept in my bed until this very day. Snow White still doesn't know that she owes her life to me, nor does her handsome prince. She doesn't know how much I love her. And he feels forgotten by Snow White. I'm sure that she has long since forgotten me, the last one, the seventh dwarf. So that is the response and the adaptation from the Grimm story to the seventh dwarf. The story genres of writing in the Seventh Dwarf is narrative, because the Seventh Dwarf is telling himself the story. It is persuasive, because he wants to persuade you that he was in love with her and he was the hero and he saved her from the queen's all her malicious attempts. And it's also descriptive. It describes everything. Now I want you to think more deeply and discuss with me why were they not creepy? Why are these old men surrounding this child? Now, thank you for watching.